change decks for your opponent.
80% favored for Firebat. The only ability. In his primary deck, he has Archivist Elysiana, where Fr0zen does not. So that's kind of the story that we're going to be talking about pretty much the entirety of this game.
Well, both players have Dr. Boom Mad Genius to start things off, so I think both players feel good so far. But, you know, that is one potential way for Firebat to get that edge in the matchup, is to start off with that Dr. Boom Mad Genius, but does not. We'll see, though. Oh, sorry, the other way around. The way Fr0zen can get an edge, despite Firebat having the Elysiana, is that Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
But, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, because Firebat's also picked it up in his opening hand. So, but definitely an uphill battle. And for Firebat, really, there's no need for him to make proactive plays. Because he knows he has the inevitability, it's just about surviving until he hits fatigue. It's just about minimizing the impact of Fr0zen's bombs. And even I talked about it, I feel like Fr0zen's even at more of a disadvantage because he's got less of the bomb package. He's got no augmented. He's got only one Clockwork Goblin. So his maximum potential bombs is only 5. So he needs those cards early. He needs to basically play Blastmaster Boom on curve and get the damage from the boom bots, and hope that his bombs and that extra bit of pressure is going to be able to eke out the game. Wow, coining out the Clockwork Goblin. I just finished saying that he doesn't need to be the one making proactive plays, but oftentimes in Firebat's mind, as we saw in the piece, he's one of the more aggressive players on planet Earth. So in his mind, maybe an offensive game plan in a weird way is also a defensive game plan because he's more able to react to what his opponent does.
Yeah, this is fairly surprising because he also gives up the ability to coin out Dr. Boom Mad Genius, which, you know, I thought was a plan that he was trying to go for, given that he is going second and the only initiative that he can get is through the coin. So that is pretty surprising to me. That being said, still not that big of a deal. The matchup is slow enough where I don't think he's going to get super punished for utilizing the coin like that. Should still be fine, cruise to an easy mid-game.
And one other thing, because Firebat knows that Fr0zen has to be on the pressure gameplay, he can feel free to draw as many cards as he pleases. He also has the Youthful Brewmaster, so he even has the possibility of 2 Elysianas later on this game. So setting up the weapons project here with no fear, because he knows that he's just going to be able to play the Harrison Jones going in.
Yep, Harrison Jones.
Basically no downside. He draws 3 cards. His hand is not full. He's at 9 cards, so he's still got plenty of space.
Right.
And like I said, he can feel free to draw cards because he knows that he has that late game plan.
Maybe that just allows him to be more aggressive in general because he has such a resource advantage in the long term that he doesn't mind drawing cards, like, because he can free it up to do that. So it makes sense if you think about it through that lens. He doesn't need to play conservatively. If everything goes like 3/4 of a card in value, he's still going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. He essentially, in a ideal scenario, has 20 extra cards. He's got or I guess 48 because you have to play Elysiana twice. No, because it adds, so 50-card deck.
Right.
So, I mean, he could play most of his cards at like 2/3 value and still be ahead. Though it's much closer in that case, and you don't want to have to do that. But the fact that he can makes it, he has the options to play however he wants to in this matchup effectively.
I think Firebat just weighing if he wants to play something for tempo or if he wants to set up for like the ideal hand. Let's say, for example, he drew Blastmaster Boom off the top. He could have invested more bombs into his opponent's deck.
I'm so glad.
Dr. Boom Mad Genius comes out. Firebat gets that extra damage. And Fr0zen is going to have to fight an uphill battle here and hope that his Dr. Boom Mad Genius can strike back.
I'm so glad.
Huh. Just very even across the board. Wrench Caliber, just investing that bombs. Firebat gets his first shuffle in. Blastmaster Boom going to be the way Fr0zen can get some tempo against Firebat and maybe even press him for a win. Firebat has so much life. He's got the flash shield, he's got a shield block.
Yeah.
He's got a second shield block.
He's got, with this deck, his primary deck, he also has the max amount of armor gain with double shield block, double weapons project. So, like I said, it's going to be really hard for him to die. It feels nearly impossible for him to die, especially with the start from Fr0zen. He basically needed to just scale up the curve, play like 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, Firebat has a dead hand, never draws Dr. Mad Genius. Puts all 5 bombs that he has available to him in the deck early on and goes with Blastmaster Boom and gets some good bomb fortune. So just a kind of a brutal matchup for him.
Yeah, I wonder if Fr0zen's just going to say, forget it, I'm just going to play Harrison Jones and dig deeper into my deck as well.
There's still some crazy possibilities, and that's why, you know, the players never tap out until every resource has been exhausted.
Right.
With Delivery Drone, you can always get the Mechathune. There's always some disruption tools that you can try and get. You can get Weaponized Pinata from Delivery Drone and get your own Elysiana to try and fight. I mean, there are crazy scenarios that can happen that make it so that you're still going to fight tooth and nail until the very end, right, even if you're in an unfavored matchup. That's just what Dr. Boom allows you to do.
Just take it slow anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Firebat investing into the Blastmaster Boom early. Swing it to get rid of some of that armor. Fr0zen has a Harrison Jones opportunity that he may have even held on to specifically for that because the Wrench Caliber is a threat. Delivery Drone first. Hecklebot.
Yep, Elysiana's already in the hand, but he can get useful Brewmaster. Okay. So this...
That makes it much better.
Yeah, it makes it... This is a much better situation. Now Fr0zen, he has 3 bombs in his deck, Firebat has 1. So you say 12 cards versus 16 cards. So Fr0zen's ahead in fatigue, so accounting for Elysiana, he's 6 cards behind. If he can get some type of value generation from Delivery Drone... All right, that was the only bomb in Firebat's deck.
Continue.
So if he can get some kind of value generation from Dr. Mad Genius, from this special delivery or Delivery Drone, or even a Mega Assembly, which he has 2 copies of, it's possible. It is possible. Useful Brewmaster is, I think, a bigger pool than it may seem. But he's also behind on tempo, so that's one thing that he has to worry about.
Yeah, I like the swing with Firebat as well. It's not like he's saving it for his Elix. Firebat has no augmented Elix. Ziliax. Fr0zen does not have the Brawl, but he has Warpath and he has Omega Devastator, so he's okay.
He can even go for like Warpath, Microbots, Ziliax.
Maybe he's going to use a Microbot just to absorb it.
Yeah.
Damage. So he attacks first, plays a Mega Devastator, and then...
Yeah, that's a possibility too. Ziliax has a lot of value late game to maybe offset some fatigue, or once you get into the Omega Assembly Delivery Drone plan, to suit up a giant mech and try and win the game that way.
Yes.
Save the best for last. Oh, that's you.
Alright, bombs defused. Fr0zen attaches the Wrench Caliber. Saw Fr0zen played the weapons projects and the Harrison Jones. There's no other weapon removal, so he's perfectly fine letting that go through.
Yep.
Firebat, losing that Youthful Brewmaster means he can't just draw aggressively and go balls to the wall. Now has to pace himself a little bit more. Shield block is okay, still very far ahead in fatigue, but he can't like act like Dynamatic recklessly here.
Yeah. He's not super far ahead in fatigue now, and that's the thing. So Fr0zen, that 19 is a little bit disingenuous because there's 4 bombs, so he has 15 cards left, and Firebat has 9. So he's like 5 cards ahead. So if you count for Elysiana, That's like 5 cards ahead for Firebat because you have a 10 offset.
It's still a lot.
It's still a lot.
And what's also a big difference, too, is not necessarily just the card count, but also the life total. Firebat's playing very aggressive because if he keeps Fr0zen's life total down, it's almost as if he's increasing his fatigue difference,
That's
too.
right.
Because, part of the reason why fatigue matters is because you're taking so much damage every turn. So having extra life means that you're as if you are a few turns ahead of him.
Yeah, and Fr0zen currently has 4 bombs in his deck, so he's effectively at 13 life, where Firebat has 0 bombs in his deck, so his 66 is his real life total.
And he can also replace the bombs in his deck, too.
Yes. I don't even know if there's that much more. There's 3 additional bombs that you can shuffle maximum, unless he gets more Clockwork Goblins from Omega Assembly or Delivery Zone.
Oh, Warpath doesn't work the way you hope it does.
I love that fuse thing.
Because the Warpath takes an extra card slot in the hand.
Somebody order a bomb.
Now it makes sense.
Because the Warpath will go away, and he'll have a hand slot left.
I'd be okay with the Mega Assembly because then if your opponent, even if you did have a full hand, your opponent has 4 bombs in the deck. It's not like you're burning anything super important, I'd say.
Well, he wouldn't have even burned anything.
Right, I'm saying even if he did it,
Okay, I see.
he'd be in an okay spot. Boom Reaver.
Boom Reaver.
Explodinator, Security Rover.
Boom Reaver we've seen post-Elysiana be incredibly effective. I mean, it's a pretty effective card regardless. So you do have small minions. You also have minions that you don't necessarily want to pull out, like Acolyte of Pain, but Firebat has the 1 Acolyte of Pain in his deck in his hand. So there's not that many big targets for him to hit. That's the problem. But Security Rover is the choice.
Because he wants to play it this turn.
Yep.
Firebat has been putting out the pressure every single turn he possibly can. He's been playing minions. And, I mean, that's just like the way Firebat likes to play the game. He wants to keep pressuring his opponent, doesn't give him room to breathe, and force Fr0zen to react to this. And, to be fair, Security Rover is not exactly easy to clear when you have a bunch of things like Warpath and Microbots.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Devastator, War Gear, and Scrap Hound. Very solid. Definitely on the higher end of power level.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure anytime you get in a Mega Devastator, no matter what your other mechs are, it's on the higher end of power level.
Right.
All right, so this should be 4 Boombots, I believe.
If he swings.
If he swings, then it's the maximum 6. That's currently 2 bombs.
Protocol 7 engaged.
Oh, I love that fuse.
War Gear has a 5/5 rusher and take it down very cleanly. Makes sense to me. Fr0zen pretty hesitant with swing with the weapon immediately here. If he's not going to play Blastmaster Venom, he wants to hold on to the weapon swing.
Yeah. To maximize the likelihood that he keeps 3 bombs in the deck.
Right. Oh,
Ooh, but 1
bomb's
drawn.
gone.
So now only 1 bomb left in the deck for Firebat. So, I don't know, maybe Fr0zen should have pulled the trigger last turn. The problem is with Security Rover on board, every time you attack in with a bomb, or every time Firebat would attack in with a bomb with Security Rover, it would summon effectively a mechanized bomb cushion to be able to have more absorption.
Well, part of the problem, too, is that Firebat also, the lower he goes into the deck, the more likely he is to play Elysiana at one point and replace all the bombs anyways.
Yep.
So Fr0zen has to be careful not to wait too long. All right, it might be time now. Or is Fr0zen going to go the opposite direction of what we saw him do yesterday, which is to keep his hand full and avoid taking any bomb damage? I think it is.
Yeah, honestly, he doesn't really have any cards in his deck that are crucial to his win condition. He already has Blastmaster Boom. He already has Dr. Boom Mad Genius. Those are really the only 2 that he absolutely wants. Maybe a second Omega Assembly, but right now a 4th of his deck is bombs. The most likely card that he draws next turn is a bomb. So this is kind of the ideal turn.
Hey,
Gets rewarded.
nice. Fr0zen,
Also,
the master diffuser.
yeah, also the extra benefit that this has is offsetting fatigue, which is honestly a big deal.
Oh, that's fairly clever.
Because he doesn't actually draw a card. He just diffuses the bomb, which is not an actual card in his original deck. And since he pulled Youthful Brewmaster with the Hecklebot, and Firebat has aggressively drawn with a full Harrison Jones on the Weapons Project plus a shield block, he has now, with 3 bombs left in his deck and 1 in Firebat, so Firebat has 5 cards left.
Really clever.
He has 12. He's 7 ahead now. So even with the Lysiana, that's only a 3-card lead for Firebat.
Big thing is life difference.
The big thing is life difference. You're absolutely correct.
That said, though, I really like where Fr0zen's head's at. If he can burn another bomb. But now he has the opportunity to play Blastmaster Boom and still keep his hand count at 10. Because he has the delivery drone. I mean, heck, he doesn't even have to do that. He can play a Mega Devastator instead to guarantee a... well, Blastmaster Boom is pretty much a guaranteed board.
He would have 4 bombs.
Oh, you're right.
4 Boobots. Yeah. So it's not a guaranteed, but
okay,
a good chance, I would say.
Then perhaps...
But to be honest, this may be the last turn he's ever able to use Blastmaster Boom outside of Discover effects for Clockwork Goblin.
Security Rover, get some more stuff and stats. Fr0zen trying to take this the very clever and crafty way by accepting damage on the board and trying to burn 1 card at a time. If he can burn 1 or 2 more bombs, I think he'll consider himself even fatigue, and then he can play from there.
Yeah.
The question is he taking too much damage to get to that point? This is a very clever move from Fr0zen.
Yep. Well, if he takes 5 this turn and his Harrison Jones gets removed, and then he burns a bomb, he made up that 5 damage plus however much extra damage by offsetting 1 more card of fatigue.
That's a great point. Yes, by accepting the damage and burning a bomb from his deck, it's basically the same.
And I feel like he's going to keep doing that until 1, the majority of bombs are gone from the deck, or 2, there's too much damage on the board for him to absorb. To where he doesn't feel like the amount of damage he's taking will be offset by discarding the potential for discarding.
I love that fuse thing.
And Firebat's play in response, max stats.
Play the biggest thing, yep.
The downside a little bit is that Fr0zen doesn't have as much armor to work with here. Looks like he is burning that Whirlwind. Has a Warpath opportunity in this position.
Yep.
Blastmaster then, because when you swung with weapon, you generally want to go for it. It makes sense, I think, given that Firebat also is getting closer to fatigue.
Wow, who is that handsome?
Can use the microbots to clean up.
Nice shot. Gonna trade in 1, and then the bomb maximizes chances to Demolition Commander.
I like holding on to a boombox because it has more upside of dealing damage with a minion.
Yeah.
Your opponent has such a high life total that I don't think it really matters as much. Bomb being drawn.
So now 1 left out of the 4 cards at the bottom of Firebat's deck.
Oh. Easy shield slam opportunity here for Firebat. Or in this case, using the Mega Devastator because he prioritizes that minion presence. Makes sense to me. Fr0zen picks up the bomb.
He did not want to see that. He had the delivery drone. Oh, yikes.
That stings.
Yep, so only 1 bomb left now.
Right.
Fr0zen's deck. This was the turn that he wanted to draw them the least because delivery drone allows you to play a card and then still play delivery drone to fill up your hand.
Right.
So it's like the ideal turn to have 10 cards to try and defuse the bombs.
Okay, then.
Hostiles.
Boom Reaver. Spark Drill also kind of has some merit to it, but I think Boom Reaver is just generally the best here. Fr0zen might not even be considering holding on to 10 cards nearly as much anymore because of the fatigue, the difference of the bombs.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Is it worth bumping into his 4 or 5 whatsoever?
This would be a good time for a master plan.
Fr0zen says no, and I think that makes sense given that Security Rover,
Defend the gate!
he could just absorb more life, right? In his mind, he's like, okay, well, if this is damage that doesn't go in, then he might spend 5 damage or more killing this thing. Except for that Militia Commander's Brawl was kind of exactly what he wanted to do.
All right, Fr0zen hoping for a bomb. Nope.
It was unlikely. Boom Weaver picks up Eternian Rover.
It's okay.
It's okay, he has a little bit of life. Ultimately, I think that's what he needs right now, because Firebat's been doing such a good job pressuring.
Yeah. All right, that's the final bomb.
I'm almost out of cards.
Boom River does kind of offset Firebat here a little bit because Archivist Elysiana will come down onto a board with a lot of pressure on it. Now he can Archivist Elysiana Microbots and trade over the Boom Reaver.
Yeah,
I just don't. What's the last card in his deck? That's what I'm wondering if.
This would be a good time for a
If it's worth
master
it.
He might feel like he need every single card, in which case, right, this turn he could Omega Devastator, build a big board, and then force Fr0zen to react to it.
Yes. Build up a big board so he guarantees himself the largest chance of having tempo.
Oh,
Yeah, he has Omega Assembly, acts as Omega Devastator.
I love that fuse thing.
Even just Hero Power and Pass here as well. Still a lot of pressure on the board.
Yeah.
10 damage. If he has a Mega Assembly, he would want to play the card. Choosing not to Hero Power either. Interesting. Doesn't want to give better Brawl scenario for Fr0zen. The Brawl, if he Hero Powers, the Brawl decreases chance for a Mega Devastator to survive.
But I feel like you'd want to force a brawl in that situation if you could, because then, I mean, that's a pretty good chance that Elysiana's going to come down nice and safe.
Unity. Precision.
All right, well, the big swing here with the vicious Scrap Hound to get Fr0zen back up.
Yeah, 10 life, big swing. Elysiana
This story
able to
deserves a new ending.
discover new deck.
All right, let's see. Nostormu.
I like that. It's just a big, fat threat. Yes!
Another Rumble Tusk Shaker being offered.
I like it.
Warmaster Voon.
Sweeping Strike. That is really powerful.
But also Gorehowl, which is...
Yeah, you get 2 of them when you can hit. And the Boom Ship, Rabbit Worgen, Lord of the Arena. Rabbit Worgen might be the best in this scenario. Boom Ship has the possibility of pulling out like Acolyte of Pain for the rest of the game, and you don't think you want that.
Yeah. I think it's an option between a safer... I mean, I think in this situation, though, you just want to pick
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Right about waiting if he wants to Shield Slam this. It is another 10 life that he can take down from Fr0zen, at least. Beryllium Nullifier!
Uh-oh. That's
Whoa, that is so big for Fr0zen because that is 16 life now he's about to gain.
And he can't remove it.
Magic
He has to
neutralized.
brawl.
Yes, that's where the Acolyte and the Town Crier comes in. Those are useful cards to have later in the game for this bird. Wow, Fr0zen's ahead. Is he ahead in life now?
He just gained 16 and dealt 8. That was a 24 health swing.
Okay, so he picked the Boom Ship over the Rabid Worgen, so that means the Town Crier won't draw a card.
All right. I think he has to go for the brawl.
I kind of like tossing this Acolyte in for the Brawl as well.
But then if it survives, that might even...
It's true.
Yeah.
Survives is like the ultimate punish, but you
Yeah.
just can't play the Boom Ship, I guess, if you have Acolyte of Pain in. It's the same concept, except this has a chance of dying.
Yeah. If this A12 lives, though...
Fr0zen's like, please.
He's praying.
Please.
Oh my goodness.
12.5% of the time it
Oh,
happens.
Okay.
He's like, you know, you're not expecting it, but you're hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Firebat's like, whew.
But Fr0zen does have the life lead, albeit small.
That vicious strap hound, that really nullifies Ziliax.
Yeah. And he's
Holy triumphant.
He's 3 cards behind in fatigue. So this is actually a lot closer than I feel like it should have been. There's so many decisions that were made, like Firebat's decision to draw cards.
Yeah, Firebat was a lot more liberal and aggressive because he was trying to get the life total advantage. Turns out he didn't even have that life total advantage going to Steve.
Yeah, but I mean, he also didn't account for Hecklebot as a random generation from Delivery Drone, which pulled out his useful Brewmaster. So I do agree with his decision to draw cards because at that point, with the knowledge that he had, I mean, there's
right.
No
He had Elysiana in hand too. So
yeah, there's no punish for it.
He's still okay though.
He is still okay, but Firebat's going to be playing like a threat, and Fr0zen just has a ton of removal. So Fr0zen's able to weave in like
This would be a good time for
something
a
of his own
plan.
from Delivery Drone. I think he has one Omega Assembly left too. There's a possibility that he sticks a big min in and Firebat can't deal with it, and he offsets life by it.
I think Fr0zen also has another bomb in his deck.
He does, yeah. He has one more.
Okay,
So he's 4
then.
cards back.
Yeah.
And
And
I think
two of those-
he might be on the same plan again. He might zap and pass here and hope that he burns a bomb. But then the problem becomes that he might just run out of resources
I
to
love
fight.
that fuse thing.
Like he might not have enough resources to go even with Firebats just like minions.
Yeah.
Trying to use his health as a resource here to weaken everything.
Setting up for a brawl potentially.
Yeah, or a better warpath. Nosdormu. Now here's the thing about Magnetic and Security Rover. They work very well hand in hand. Microbot's kind of working a little bit against the missile launch, so he has to trade into this one.
All right, Firebat, you got to sit up in your chair next turn as soon as the turn passes over to you. Slam Nosdormu end turn.
It's no good way for Fr0zen to deal with this right now. He'd much rather hold on to his Mega
This would be a
Devastator.
good time
Warpath
for a master
suggestion has been
plan.
thrown out the window.
He honestly has no idea what's taken from him. He hasn't seen a single card counting it.
Oh, that's true. The last 3 cards he's drawn, he didn't do anything.
That's right. Boomship, the Rumble Tusk, and Nosdormu. And he could have taken Rumble Tusk twice.
Put me in, man! It's my
Or that could
turn!
just be the second
Put
one.
me in,
They're just
man!
sticky minions.
It's my
Like,
Yeah.
turn!
Job's done.
All right, well, here's a Mega Assembly. This Mega Assembly has to be the biggest, beefiest Omega Assembly that has ever existed in the history of Omega Assemblies.
I believe.
My turn to show them what's what.
And Fr0zen might still go for the Mega Assembly here and just hold the 10 cards because he needs to freeze the bomb.
Yep.
I like it.
Perfect mana for Blast Shield as well to gain that additional life. Can I get a Mechazune? Wow.
Security Rover, Spark Drill, Eternium Rover. These are pretty weak cards overall. Another Boom Ship. I get it.
You mentioned earlier that Boomship will almost certainly summon Acolyte of Pain, no
Yes.
matter when you use it. And that's a big liability.
Yeah, I'd much rather just have
So that's two dead cards in his hand, effectively.
It's not dead because he still can just pull out Nosdormu. Nice freeze here on the bomb for Fr0zen. That's the last one, so he's free to just kind of play it out now.
Yeah. Also offsets one more fatigue. But yes, he pulls out Nosdormu.
Nullifier!
Another one.
That's
wow.
big, because that means that Firebat can't kill it. It's another source of armor gain.
But you said he could pull out Nosdormu with Boom Shift, but if he's pulling out Nosdormu, he's also pulling out Acolyte.
Oh.
Unless he waits till he has three other minions
Well, he
in
can
hand.
boon now.
But then he also gets into the same situation where he can't Boom Shift.
I kind of, that's why I was wanting to throw the Acolyte into the brawl. I wanted it to die.
Yeah, it's a dead card in hand that's making it awkward. If he plays Nosdormu here,
Okay, then
then he's still 2 minutes away from being able to play the Boom Shift safely.
What if he voons first?
If he voons first,
It's 2 Nosdormu.
yeah, but then he's at a full hand. He has to play another card.
Oh, okay, he's going to trade in the Acolyte for 1 card.
this would be a good time for a master plan.
Then fatigue is even? Nearly?
No, he's still ahead.
By 1.
Yeah.
That's very close.
Yeah, it feels like it's close to it needs to be. And he's gaining armor every single time, too.
Firebat still has held on to these Omega assemblies until
Gore
bitter
Howl
end.
damage. Oh, that's not necessarily a good
I love
Omega
that
assembly either.
thing.
Fr0zen doesn't have much time to think. He has to move quickly, but he can easily deal with his Nosdormu with the Spark Drill. In this case, he can even warp that. Wait, does he have time to do it?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Looks like he got it just right before the rope finished burning.
Yeah, the spectator's a little bit behind on the rope, so they queue up their actions. We see it like a second or two later.
Another Voon, which actually happens to copy the Nightmare Amalgam. Very funny synergy there.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, if he picks up another Nightmare Amalgam, he'll actually generate twice the amount. Make it Devastator. Properly named. I'm slightly disappointed he didn't play the Voon. But he wants to wait for the other nuns.
Yes. Now, Boom Shift is much better, especially since he has second Omega assembly.
I'm almost out of cards.
Alright, Firebat doesn't have to worry about too much more. Fr0zen can only really get that Mechathune off the delivery drone. This is his only only ability to get out of this game.
Then.
And even then, I just don't think that's enough. He's got to find a way to use 2 brawls, 2 shield blocks, and an Acolyte of Pain.
Right. It's stuff like that where it always feels like if you're kind of in that Mechathune camp, you're stuck in this really tough position where it's like the shield blocks only. You wish you played it a lot earlier, right?
Yes, but you basically have to know Mechathune early to be able to find places to use those cards.
Right.
Dump hand. It changes your game plan. Last card for Firebat is second Gore Howl.
Scanning for hostiles.
And then we're operating with perfect information.
Mechathune! Mechathune! He has 2 shield slams, shield blocks and shield slam.
I honestly think he's got to go for Eternium Rover or the Beryllium Nullifier with the Eternium Rover.
Nope.
I know
I
it
don't
hurts.
think he ever wins.
I don't think he ever wins if he has Mechathune. Look how much stuff he has in his hand. The Mechathune train, he needed that a long time ago for that to be a game plan. It's just too difficult.
I don't know. He could throw in like Acolyte, 2 minions, and Brawl.
He still has to double shield block and double brawl.
That's true. And then he needs to, like, he can't hold on to a card.
And then it has to stick, and by that time, he's taking a ton of fatigue.
Yeah.
Firebat can just go over the top with Gorehouse, never play a minion.
I think the problem is that he actually can't sequence it correctly. He has to play Mechathune last, but then Firebat would just never kill it. Or,
yes,
like Fr0zen has like the shield slam and stuff for the Mechathune, but he needs the Mechathune to be on the board in order to capitalize on that, but he doesn't have enough mana.
He needs a full turn, and Firebat can just kill it.
Right.
It's very, 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 very difficult to pull off at this stage. You have to know that you have Mechathune very early on in the game. You have to plan for it. You have to get rid of your shield blocks. You have to throw your acolytes into brawls early.
I still feel like his chance of winning is higher with the Mechathune than it is with this Beryllium Nullifier block.
This would be a good time for
He's
a
got
master
Brawl for
plan.
the rest of the minions. He's got Shield Slam for another Nosdormu.
Firebat, like, he's revealed that he has Nosdormu and Moon. Like, he just has a ton of threats. You're not going to be able to deal with that with just a Attorney Rover and a Beryllium Nullifier, man. Like, you're just really not.
And then you're also not going to be able to get Mechathune off, so...
Yeah, but at
it's
least,
like...
So, at least, at the very least, Mechathune would have, like as a 10-10 rusher, TJ, could deal with the Nosdormu. Then it's a 10-2, it's your last card, and you're on a zap to win.
Wait, what?
Okay, so imagine a scenario where you played all your cards out. Your last card is Mechathune, because you can't save Shield Block or Shield Slam for anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you just play Mechathune, you can rush it into something like your opponent's Nosdormu. Then it becomes a 10-2 minion, then you're on a zap to win. The hero power that deals 3 damage to any target.
But you're also, you're getting, at the very least, accelerating your fatigue by 3.
Right, but I don't think you're winning the fatigue type of game anyways. Like, your opponent is out-resourcing you, you're just going to lose. And in this case, he's even adding to it with more damage to the bomb. Like, I totally get what you're saying. I'm saying that I just don't think that... Like, I think his chance to win this way was actually 0%. I think his chance to win with Mechathune is, like, less than 1%. But it's above 0.
I think the other way around. I think his chance to win with this line is slightly above 0.001%. I think his chance to win with Mechathune is an actual
Styles.
I don't know. You have to math out like every turn.
Yeah, it's something that is actually solvable, I think.
Well, he doesn't have perfect information because there was 2 Omega assemblies that he'd only seen 1 mech from at that point. So he has no perfect information.
Well, no matter what, we can argue about this for a long time, but he's dead, I think.
He is very dead. Now, an argument for your point is also
This would be a good
by getting
time for a
Mechathune, he
master
gives himself
plan.
a kind of a galvanizer out.
Oh, that's true.
But then that's no, I think that's even a lower % chance because then he's foregoing development on a larger mech. Then by the time he plays Mechathune, he's almost 100% going to be out of armor.
This would be a good time
Because like I
for
said,
a master
yeah,
plan.
accounting
also-
for 2 shield blocks and the turn
know.
you play Mechathune, that's 3 points of fatigue.
I still disagree, because he knows that he has Boom Ship and Nosdormu's in the hand, plural. He knows there's 2 of them. So it's like, even if he plays a Beryllium Nullifier, it's like he's just going to have to deal with a giant Boom Ship turn anyways, in the worst case scenario. Like, I don't know. I personally think that either way, Fr0zen's a very low chance to win. But I think that having that Mechathune not only, like, is an opportunity to win, but it's also giving a chance for Firebat to mess up.
Then the other
Firebat can't mess this up. That's kind of another thing, too.
Well, honestly, if Firebat would 100% know that Fr0zen had Mechathune, then he plays shield block. So then Firebat can't mess up in that regard either. He could just wait until the turn right before Fr0zen has to play Mechathune, and then boom ship his Nosdormus.
And
then counter lethal. So then Firebat also won't mess up. So it kind of goes both ways.
Okay, so Firebat thinking if there's any like reason to hold on to these resources or play them out on the board. He could Spark Drone on the board. He could Gorehouse set up for number 2, deal 5 damage. Time's on his side. I think he's just trying to like think if there's any possibility for him to lose this game.
There is not. If he's tracking, then he should know that every card in hand is a card that started in Fr0zen's deck. So he knows every card in hand. So yeah, sure, do nothing.
Fr0zen's gonna brawl with his Acolyte, but I think almost any outcome is not preferable. I guess his opponent's minion survives and he zaps it.
Sure.
So I think his hope is to discover Mechathune again, but slowly utilize his brawls and Acolyte Pain later in the game. Okay. Then Firebat just passes. Like, he just delivery drones and then pass. There's no reason for him to do anything. He's far ahead in the fatigue raise.
Yep.
Weaponized Pinata is good here.
Even Explodinator.
Explodinator is actually not good, I think, because of the brawl. Like, he doesn't want Fr0zen to be able to play his cards.
It's extra damage, though.
Oh, wait.
It's 4 more damage, and then he's got 12 damage loaded up. He's taking 6 fatigue.
Fr0zen actually has the micro boost to control that.
Yeah.
So Fr0zen he actually got the right he used to microbot and brawl. And then he needs to get delivery drone. He also probably should weapons project or shield block. Actually, shield block only adds to this.
If he shield blocks, he's dead, because he knows second core house is. Because he takes.
Oh, he gets a delivery drone.
Princess Talanji! He gets, wait, Princess Talanji!
Talanji!
That's your whole
Yes!
deck! That's all of your cards!
Yes!
Summon all of your cards!
His second brawl is used.
That's
Yeah!
it! Yeah!
Thank you, Firebat.
All right, we got one exciting moment from all this.
He's laughing.
Yep.
The streamer side of him that's been cultivated for years.
Just do it. Whose meme reigns supreme?
When Firebat memes harder in Grandmasters than he does on Omnis. That's a heck of a board.
Job's done.
Fr0zen's like, oh gosh. I mean, he knew this was a possibility too. We'll look at the card, but a Mega Devastator. The Weapons Project Shield Slam.
He's still incredibly dead. He's taking 8 points of fatigue next turn. He knows there's a Gore Howl in hand. Oh, man. Well, that was a long game.
Very long game, but the outcome was something that we kind of anticipated here. Firebat takes a 1-0 lead. That's down Fr0zen now. The series still...
Joy Bus and Undertaker, we talked about the redundancy of combos versus Hecklebot specifically, because no matter which of the 3 minions you pull out, you can still get the combo off. So like a single Hecklebot can't ruin your game plan. But Firebat just doesn't have any combo disruption. Even if you look at his secondary deck and tertiary decks, his secondary deck is designed to be mage, and his tertiary deck is designed to beat rogues. So that's a big problem when you're going up against a Mechathune deck, when you have no combo disruption and your game plan is fatigue. So as long as Fr0zen just executes properly, he should be a favorite in both Games 2 and Games 3, should it go to that.
Mega Assembly on turn 1. Liking it. Something that we learned yesterday. You don't want to be stuck with cards in your hand with the Mechathune. That's what can spell disaster.
Yep. But I think the biggest reason why is because if you play a Mega Assembly and get Mecharoo or Weaponized Pinata, your Undertaker combo doesn't work. Because it either adds a card to the board or adds a card to your deck. The next one is Replicating Menace. Same thing. So by controlling the outcome of your Omega Assembly, you're able to dodge those Death Rattle cards to guarantee that your Undertaker goes off without adding a card to your board or your hand. So I think more so than just the ability to get cards out of his hand, it's just the ability to control what cards he gets from Omega Assembly to guarantee his combos.
Makes sense to me. Fr0zen draws that Acolyte of Pain, doesn't want to immediately just throw it out there recklessly. Needs it for card draw, so he could utilize it later on with the Dynomatic. Firebat probably is going to keep the pressure plan going. When you see an Omega Assembly on 1, I think Firebat also knows. Like, he already kind of assumed that it was going to be Mechathune Warrior, but that just reaffirms his belief.
Yeah, I mean, Fr0zen would be insane to knock you a secondary deck here. Get off for a tertiary deck and get 2 Super Colliders, 2 Big Game Hunters, and an Omega Devastator.
Yeah.
That could be quite helpful. Guarantee you have an Elysiana when it comes down on turn 20.
I wonder if Firebat's going to play Elysiana on curve. To try and, like, maybe find disruption rules. What do you think about that? Because, like, I feel like if you drag the game out, do you have a chance of winning whatsoever?
Yes.
You sure?
You do. It's small, but so is Elysiana. They're both small.
Well, I guess if you...
Delivery Jones and Omega Assembly.
If you play... That's true. If you play Elysiana, you're giving up, like, your Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Yeah, I think you need Dr. Boom Mad Genius first, and you also need your Omega Assemblies first.
Just trying to think creatively, man, to try to find a way that Firebat is more than, like, 5% to win this game.
Sure. I mean, either way you slice it,
Defend the gates.
it's low. I think Hecklebot may be his best. But then again, Archivist Elysiana has a chance to pull out, like, Unseen Saboteur. He could even Archivist and then Youthful.
Right. With that Youthful Brewmaster, maybe that gives Firebat an opportunity to answer Fr0zen's fatigue plan. Because the thing about Elysiana is that if you play it early and you can't really and you lose it, then maybe Fr0zen just switches to a defensive control plan.
Yeah.
It's food for thought.
Okay.
Fr0zen not Russian.
No, he's from
Most
Michigan.
He's American and speaks Chinese, but he's not Russian. Shield slam.
And in the meantime, Firebat's just going to go for the pressure plan.
Yeah.
Maybe he sticks an Omega Devastator Zilliax, just hits it for 7 over and over again.
That's probably the primary game plan. Pressure as much as you can. If you're running out of resources in your region, maybe go for the Archivist Elysiana late game. Geppetto Joy Buzz. Card has been a very nice addition to this deck.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier. It gives redundancy. So assume your opponent has Hecklebot. If they pull out Mecha'thun with Hecklebot, you still have the Undertaker to have the death rattle once it dies. If your opponent pulls out Geppetto Joy Buzz, you can still activate the combo with the Undertaker in a Rage Devastate. If your opponent pulls out the Undertaker, that's the best one, but then your opponent still has Geppetto or just Mecha'thun and it dies. So Undertaker is the best pull, but this deck is built with the redundancy in mind versus anti-combo cards.
Job's done.
It also has a Whirlwind in the deck, so if you get The Undertaker or Mecha'thun from Geppetto Joy Buzz, you can just wait and play with the Whirlwind. So that also kind of has redundancy against Unseen Saboteur, because you don't have to rely on one spell combination like the Malagos version. So it is just kind of the most well-built warrior Mecha'thun deck, especially for specialists. Because you only need 5 cards.
Hey, speak to me.
Look at the synergy between Warpath, Acolyte, and the security rover. Another card, another 2/3. Introduce more roadblocks for Firebat to go through.
There's 9 cards in hand. May need to expend something. Yep.
It's fair. Just totally dump the hand and get ready for the Geppetto Joy Buzz. Weapons Project. It does give Fr0zen and Harrison opportunity. But his hand is full anyways. I wonder if Firebat's just going to brawl this, but he loses his best minion on the board. And if he just Warpaths, he's back in the same exact spot. It's tough. Weapons Project, Militia Commander, push face damage. I think that's what he's got.
Yep. Firebat said in his featured matchup interview before the match took place that He thinks one of the things that sets him apart from other players is that he's more aggressive. He finds every opportunity that he can to squeeze base damage in. Hey, it won him a world championship.
Yeah, and I think that's like a oversimplification of why Firebat was doing so well in the 2014 World Championship. I think he also just thought about the game very differently back then than most players. And,
Yeah.
he was looking at it from a data numbers perspective, which a lot of people weren't. People were just going based off feeling.
They were flying by the seat of their pants, Dan.
Trying to, at least. This is okay time to Warpath now, because everything's at 1
Pain,
health.
speak to
Yeah.
me.
That's the board clear here for Firebat. Fr0zen has the ability to play that Geppetto Joy, but still hasn't drawn his Undertaker, which is going to make it dramatically
I'll make you a real
much simpler.
It's so whimsical. Oh, it doesn't get the Undertaker from it.
But it gets 2 card draws, which is important.
Yes, just cycle through his deck. Doesn't need the redundancy, and I don't know, Firebat, I think he might have to... This is the moment of truth, Dan.
He doesn't have to just yet.
He can
just
Omega
play
Assembly
Giant.
first, and then see if he gets disruption that way with multiple Huckabots from his Omega Assemblies. Can't get multiple Huckabots from 1 Omega Assembly.
I wonder.
But this is going to tell a lot about Firebat's game plan. I'm honestly, you said it's a crazy idea, Dan, but I honestly don't dislike just jamming Elysiana, brewerying back, and trying again. But he does have time. Fr0zen still has 11 cards in his deck, still far away from being able to activate his combo.
Light the fuses!
And Fr0zen, his game plan is still ongoing. It's not like he just waits until he gets Mechathune. He still has to find ways to dump his hand. And find ways to kill off his own minions so he doesn't get put in the awkward situation that Muzzy put him in their matchup yesterday, where he just couldn't kill off his own town crier. And also he put himself in the awkward position of his Undertaker had a Mecharoo Death Rattle in it as well. And Fr0zen told us in his post-game interview that it's a 50-50, and he wasn't 100% sure how it works, but he didn't notice it until way too late.
Fr0zen dumping cards so that he can get the brawls out of his hand. Spooking Firebat a little bit. No Unseen Saboteur or no Hecklebot disruption available. Omega Assembly number 2.
Nothing good.
Styles.
Piecing together a ragtag team of mechs in order to pressure his opponent. I think I'd like the swing to stop the Harrison Jones.
Just about emptying cards. Nice sequencing.
Just make sure that he can snipe the security rover and get this weapon swing on. That actually happened earlier. A couple of sequencing issues. Alright, choosing to hold on and get his life total high up.
All right, it's time to look. He waited long enough for Dr. Boom.
This story does
Fr0zen has accelerated his combo enough. Let's see. Nope. He's looking specifically for Unseen Saboteur, Hecklebot, maybe a Silence, Wrench Caliber. Okay.
Caliber's interesting. Maybe there's some hand manipulation as well. I think he's gonna have to bounce his back to Undertaker. That's kind of funny. Is there any death battles that can really help him in this position?
He has a Mecharoo on board.
Yeah. All right, try again. If at first you don't succeed, We go again.
Yeah, that Elysiana's just not good enough to get it done.
Close. That was just kind of a subpar Elysiana all across the
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
Like there was like an Undertaker, which is like cute. That's about it.
Yep.
Fr0zen's like, huh, well, I can just kind of take it easy and cruise it.
Light the fuses!
It's not drawing cards, though, which is the annoying thing.
But it is giving him time to dump his hand. And Firebat can't get... He's used both Omega Assemblies.
Sarah's kind of hard to remove.
I dream.
Omega Devastator... it's a 1/1.
Right. I think Firebat's thinking about shield slamming this thing. A Mega Devastator has a 1/1, meaning that this Ysera doesn't die, and Fr0zen has to do something else. Ysera can also give something to Firebat that's like just pretty good. Dream for the Archivist Elysiana! We go again!
Or...
Blastmaster Boom?
Mechathune.
Oh!
Because with the package that Fr0zen has, he has to play Mechathune, and it's got to die. So if he forces him to spend 10 mana 2 turns in a row...
Yeah. Okay.
But it also gives him puts a 10-10 rush back in his hand. So that's
Right.
that could be a little bit of a problem.
Well, it's rush. It's not charge. I mean, Firebat is also doesn't have any transform effects. Battle Rage. All right. So you can Elysiana, discover a Tinkmaster over Spark, and then
Dream.
you might. It depends. If you find a Tinkmaster over Spark, you want to keep the Mechathune on the field
Why?
because so you can target it.
If you keep the Mechathune on the field, then he just trades over your Elysiana.
No, you would bounce your Elysiana. I guess it depends what you want to do. If you bounce your Mechathune, there's I guess the same concept. You're just gonna rush it out eventually.
Yeah, but they'll rush it into a 7/7 at full health, and then you Tinkmaster.
This story deserves a new ending.
Ooh. Booty Babe Bookie. Try and fill up his hand and hope that he doesn't have one of his combo pieces, which he doesn't. Ooh.
Add a lackey to your hand. Ugh. Nope.
Nope.
I think
Dream it. Yep.
he has a dream and try again.
Try one more time.
Yeah, it looks like he picked up the the evil cable rat too. Well, this game is definitely really wacky to say the least.
Yep.
Weapons Project and Harrison Jones forgot that Fr0zen had it, so saving Harrison Jones for the 3 draw.
That belongs in a museum.
Almost time for Firebat to draft the last 10 cards of his arena deck.
That's right. He's drafted the first 10, the second 10, and the last 10 now. Yeah, Fr0zen probably wants to get some of his minions out of his hand. He is worried about the Undertaker getting burned.
He still has to get rid of this Acolyte Pain, too.
Right. One thing that's actually a little bit scary is that Firebat could have something like King Mukla that could fill up the hand.
King Mukla.
Might be in his best interest to dump more than one card. What an outcome that would be, huh? Elysiana, one more time.
Let's see what's in the box
He
this
has
time.
one more chance in his mind. We know that's not the case.
What do you mean?
Because Fr0zen can guarantee draw both the cards next turn.
Oh. He can still get, I don't know.
Yeah, the idea is that
Unseen Saboteur
Firebat...
plays twice.
Oh yeah, Unseen Saboteur, you're right. Okay, improve morale. Cable rat.
Just
Anything that gives you a chance. Boom Reaver with the cable rat. Not looking promising here.
Nope.
Yeah, seems like it's solid stuff, but not good enough.
Now for Fr0zen, it's just about navigating these last few turns of emptying cards from his hand. I mean, most of the cards in his entire hand are just very cheap.
Is there a lackey that can change everything?
No. Evolve Lackey into even Mana Wraith, because Undertaker can still be played at 9.
That's fair.
Precision.
I think Firebat has to draw a lackey. He's not even damaged enough to get battle rage value. Just think about that for a second. Hanging in there. Maybe in his mind, there's a way to force Fr0zen into an awkward position where he can't play a minion and rush into it to kill itself. So he just passes here. Alternative is Darius Crowley into the 5-2.
Problem is, there's still a Warpath left.
For Fr0zen?
Yes. So he can kill off any minion that he wants.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Choose! Rush the enemy! Defend Gilneas!
Fr0zen needs to find a way to get rid of his Acolyte.
I'm out of cards!
And that brawl's really important that with the microbots, with the Acolyte of Pain.
Yep.
Let the pain speak to me.
I mean, he had a way to kill his Acolyte regardless. He could have just Mega Devastated his own minion and then Echo with the Warpath.
Mega Devastator can target friendly minions.
Oh, right.
Well, I don't know. I was asking. Let me look. No, it is just a minion, so it can't target friendly minions. You're correct.
Not even the lackey, but he can Darius Crowley into the Battle Rage now. Is this only out?
Out for what?
I don't know. I'm just ready to be surprised.
Okay.
Like, he can evolve Darius Crowley into something.
You're in a surprise me kind of mood today, Dan.
Well, what if he gets like a Swamp King Dread off the like evolve lackey, and then
What can he even evolve? He doesn't even have any cost.
it's not even an eligible legendary. I think Swamp King Dread. So is it?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I have to check actually.
Toki Time Tinker, and then you.
Oh yeah, Toki Time.
Then
We have
you
to bounce this. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, he's just going to empty his whole hand this turn. He's got the combo lined up and ready for next turn. So Fr0zen is all.
Last chance, which is not really much, but I'm ready to be surprised in case anything can change my mind. Actually, this is really smart by Fr0zen. Even if Saboteur was pulled, if it pulls Whirlwind or Inner Rage, it still has a combo.
Yeah, he would have to pull Devastate.
Right.
All right, let's see. The Lackey. The hero Lackey.
Two-mana Lackey.
Oh, Mana Wraith would have done it because he wouldn't have had mana to play all of his spells.
He swings with the weapon. Swings with the weapon.
Ah, he swings with the weapon.
Yeah.
So everything accounted for from
Yes.
Fro's perspective. Literally everything.
Fr0zen's
And
like,
also, Fr0zen could just play Whirlwind and then do the combo the next turn.
right.
So,
All right, well, Fr0zen takes game number 2. Not much Firebat can do. He hung in there, but is going to be in a... he's basically stuck in this mode where he has to be very aggressive Or he has to get very fortunate off his Elysiana, which I don't think is really an option.
Yeah, and unfortunately that...
Really well.
Cool.
DC won, Bloodyface won today, yes, Eddie won yesterday, Striker won yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Delay's going to play later today. I have Muzzy and Fr0zen, which kind of was, you know, whatever. Surrender, Fino, and Alutimu, who all got wins.
Wow, Dan. Weird flex, but okay.
I'm looking at everyone else's because we had Admirable, Derek, and our producers, Josh and Mike, draft with us. We wanted to get Sotto, G, and Raven in, but they couldn't make it on time. AKA, they were in a different time.
They were in a different time zone, so we just forgot about them. Yeah, Mike is the producer for Europe, and Josh is the producer for our America show. How's Josh feeling?
Josh has Bloodtray, who lost today, Don, who won, Orange, who lost, ETC, who plays later today, and Silvername, who lost. So, not looking good for the former HGC guy.
Gosh, oh God.
He's laughing in our ear. He is so mad. He's about to mute us and make us watch this Warrior Mirror in silence. I don't even understand how it's happening. This is the 5th time today. Like 4th or 5th time today. Someone shuffled the bomb and it immediately was drawn off the top.
All right, Firebat's going for the aggressive game plan again. For not full value.
Yes. Honestly, the 4-5 curve might be the best course of action here.
Yeah. He already has one.
Vicious Scrapbound is not anything amazing.
But I think you just roll a Mega Devastator into a Mega Devastator, just tempo him out.
Yeah.
As good of a card as it is in the late game, Firebat just does not want to go to the late game. That's unless he gets the absolute nuts from Archivist Elysiana and can have immense amounts of hand, deck, and board disruption. Then his best course of action is just to try to kill Fr0zen.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen on a very nice and easy timeline. One thing that I feel like I've been noticing Fr0zen that he's been doing is he hedges really well, or not hedges, but he like prepares really well in case Firebat has like even the luckiest of RNG outcomes, right? Like the variability of certain things like a Mega Assembly or a delivery drone or an Archivist Elysiana. He's accounting for like, okay, what happens if he pulls like a Hecklebot off the scenario? Am I okay? If he does the Saboteur.
Even Mana Wraith off of the Lackey's potential.
Yeah.
Even though that's a fringe case scenario, it was off the Lackey's from our perspective, but he could have just gotten the card from his perspective.
Pain, speak to me.
It's something that Hunter Ace was bringing up. Hunter Ace said that this specific rotation was extremely difficult to prepare for, not because of the technical ability of playing some of these decks are very high, but it's also the like Condri's calling outcomes, right? Like that's something that he's like, I had to study and read every card in Hearthstone. I still couldn't like wrap my head around like what I had to play around. Like for example, the percentages of like getting taunts off of each mana cost. Like what's actually the best way to prepare for it? And he said like this is probably one of the hardest formats he had encountered because of how frequently he hit those situations.
Yeah, we actually, courtesy of Florinda, who made our World Championship research packet. Shout out to him.
Lorinda.
It was great stuff. He gave us a cheat sheet for taunts off of Conjurer's Calling.
Right.
What mana costs, what percentage of taunts, which helped us sound smarter on broadcast. But the players don't have access to that. They don't have Lorinda whispering in their ear, hey, this is a 26.7% chance to get a taunt.
Which almost makes it even more unfathomable the way like Hunter Ace won with all those like Hagatha scenarios and like Evolve and all and like Stormbringer opportunities. Like, you just have to like. There's just so many possibilities. Like, what generates damage? Oh, the Baron Geddon off of a 7-mana minion Conjurer's Call. It's like, oh, a charge minion off of like, transforming into this. It becomes really complex. So I feel like Fr0zen is doing as best as he can to account for those possibilities, and Firebat, of course, is hoping for those possibilities. This game, he has Dr. Boom Mad Genius on curve. Maybe we'll see a different outcome, but so far, Fr0zen looks like he's in a good spot.
Yep, has the Geppetto Joybuzz in hand and rearing and ready to go.
Yep. double shield block, and Dr. Boom Mad Genius for Fr0zen, but it's not nearly as... I mean, it is nice to have, but Firebat is the one who has to figure out a disruption game plan. Because he's clearly not even winning the board on tempo, right? Like, he's trying to see if he can get ahead on the board, but Fr0zen's the one commanding it right now. Firebat has no good way to remove. He might brawl this. If you don't deal with that 6/6, it's going to come down. It's going to eventually hit the hard one. I guess he can just use his weapon. Yeah, makes sense too. Get a little bit of bomb damage. It's not like the heal matters. I like that. Fr0zen has a Dr. Boom Mad Genius ready to go. Harrison Jones. Guess there's no rush. Shut down any possibility for any damage coming down his way.
Yeah, this is just brutal. Firebat hasn't even drawn Elysiana, so... And at this point, he needs Elysiana, and then if he doesn't hit Jin right away, then he needs to draw a Youth from Brewmaster as well. Still a possibility for Hecklebots, but won't have Delivery Drone again for another turn.
Yeah, some solid mid-range minions here. A Mega Devastator just gives him like another tool to play in the late game. But he doesn't need that. I think he needs like actual pressure at this point.
Light the fuses!
Fr0zen with the Mad Genius, and that's going to be even harder for Firebat to climb as Fr0zen crosses the 60 health mark here.
And just trucking away. Firebat keeping up with the amount of cycle that Fr0zen's able to do. Fr0zen does have one bomb in his deck, so he's just got 11 cards, but trying to get through his deck as fast as possible to maximize his chance to get the Mad Genius, which he has, the Elysiana, which he doesn't have, and the Youthful Brewmaster, which he doesn't have.
Scanning for hostiles.
Fr0zen
This is such a weird game. Oh,
draws the bomb, but he's totally okay with that one. He's okay with a few bombs coming down.
that was the only one in the deck, though. No more bombs left.
Should be able to rush down whatever came out. Was hoping that the security rover goes down and is able to spend some of the rest of his mana here pretty efficiently. Firebat with another delivery drone.
This is such a weird game because Firebat's win condition changes. Like, he's got one win condition that he plays until about turn 4. And then Fr0zen removes his first 2 minions, and then he realizes that he can no longer go for that win condition.
Right.
It's like, okay.
This would be a good time for
That
a
win condition is
master
killing
plan.
Fr0zen.
It's not really a win condition either.
It is, but it's a very, very small one. But he has to go for it. Like, he doesn't have a choice.
Okay.
His chance to win
Nullifier.
regardless is small.
I like it.
Defend the gates!
All right. Fr0zen doesn't have the mech answers. He has a shield slams.
I'll make you a
No
real
joy buzz. Okay, he is just such a troll card. Mechathune at
it's
1
Mechathune.
mana.
So now that you do have to think, though, he can just kill Mechathune right now, get it out of the way. I guess there's not much else to think about.
Does he need to?
Yes. Well, he doesn't need to, but it's good. It plays around one more thing. By killing it around now, he doesn't give the option for Firebat to, like, leave an empty board so he can never trade it in and then, I don't know, take
He
master.
can just save Whirlwind. Mechathune Whirlwind's like the end of the game. What's funny is that if he saves like he can't be too careful because like Devastate doesn't work on a 1/1 Megathune.
Yeah.
So he would have to use it. But I think his options are pretty flexible. He even holds 10 cards because he actually doesn't need anything else. Mega Devastator, dealing 10 plus the Microbots, though. Oh my gosh. It's so good.
Every which way you could think of.
So good.
Yep.
Absolutely disgusting. Oh, here we go.
He can't Brewmaster it yet, though, but honestly, I think he's running out of time. He's just got to play it. All right, this is the one, Dan.
This story.
This is the crazy one. Let's see everything. Gorehowl to try.
Gorehowl with upgrades.
Oh.
Okay. There's some spicy stuff in this one. Gunspire or the Archmage. There's cases for both.
Gunspire.
He has 2 Warpaths. I just want to point that out.
Gunspire.
All right, Grifta. Oh my
Grifta.
God. Wait.
Yes.
That's actually a card that he needs.
Yes. All right. I don't care about these.
You actually don't want the boom ship because it pulls Grifta from your hand.
Yeah.
Now Firebat needs card draw.
All he needs to do.
Hold on. There's a lot of UI going on right now. There's a whole lot of menus popping up here. All right.
Here's what we're doing. We're going for Grifta, and we're picking stuff that death rattles and gives you stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Firebat.
There's a chance.
Once upon a time, TJ, I mocked Grifta as like one of the worst legendaries like of all time.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Dan. It's pretty bad.
But you might legitimately give something unplayable to your opponent.
All right. Well, Firebat. Oh.
Like one thing that you used to be able to do if you played Grifta in like Rogue was like deadly poison to an opponent that doesn't have a weapon class or a weapon in their class.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Fr0zen, since he got Mechathune off of Geppetto Joybuzz,
but
he doesn't rely on Undertaker, so Firebat can't go for the pick a death rattle summon minion,
but he could pick like Mountain Giant. And
he could
many
pick
cards.
Giant.
Actually,
no, he will never have too many cards. Yeah.
Okay. Is there another alternative? Molten Giant's the Hall of Fame.
No, you can't get Snowfury Giant because it's the Shaman class card.
What about
Deathwing?
What about Shield Slam with no armor? It's like these are all just like possibilities.
Deathwing.
Oh yeah, Deathwing. Deathwing is like
Deathwing is impossible.
Deathwing's a checkmate scenario. You're right.
Yeah. Imagine he gets Deathwing, but then he gets it.
Look, I wouldn't even be mad at losing the fantasy points if that was the case.
Grifta, give it.
I wouldn't even be mad.
Grifta, take it
like,
away.
You know what? It's all right. I mocked it as being the worst legendary. It's like I gave it its own award category in the Omnistone Award. I was like, yeah. That being said, maybe that's time for maybe it's an opportunity for it to shine. People were saying in the reveal threads, because they have discussion on the forums about every revealed card, they're like, well, this doesn't look that great, but if you're able to utilize it to stop like Mechathune, that's an opportunity. It's like no one's gonna ever tech Grift in their decks to stop Mechathune. That's what like the first retort was.
Well, I mean, even in this case, he's not teching it into his deck. He's getting it from a random generation of decks.
I don't disagree.
But still, he chose it.
Okay, now
he had
what
two
if,
other options.
What if Firebat doesn't actually draw it?
Then that would be...
It could be the bottom 2 cards of his deck.
Then
that's why I was saying he needs card draw.
Be very unhappy.
Okay, Fr0zen devastating his own Acolyte should tell Firebat what's his hand.
Yes, so he should know that Undertaker is not... That either Undertaker or Mechathune are both discounted.
Firebat's not drawing the Grifta.
Come on, man. Just
I don't want to see what happens. I don't even think the Grifta is going to do anything particularly impactful, because part of the problem with Grifta is that it says battle cry, discover 2 cards. One's given random to your opponent. You don't even have control over it.
No.
So you could give them a card that they could use.
Yes.
So you need 2 unplayable cards.
Well, at least one. Like 1 and then hope, or 2 and...
Ideally, you would get 2 unplayable.
Okay, then.
Oh, boy. This is... I just hope he draws it. I want some drama. I need some drama in my life, Dan.
Hearthstone could definitely use some of the old classic drama.
Oh, I love that fuse thing. I'm almost out of cards.
Firebat, almost out of time. Fr0zen has almost no cards left. Playing his hand. He needs at least 3 turns, though. Still has the Dynamac and the Brawl. But after that, shouldn't be that difficult. Oh my gosh, he's just not getting the Grifta.
He has time. He has time.
He has one more turn.
One more turn. No, we're good. We're good. One more turn. Firebat now knows that the Geppetto Joybuzz card is Mecha'thun. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to complete the combo. So he also knows that he can't rely on those death battles, like I mentioned. So Deathwing, Shield Slam. Can you get class cards?
Oh, yes, you can. Execute. So Firebat can never play. He can never play a minion at that
Dan's
point.
searching through his collection.
Yes,
right
I'm
now.
searching through my collection right now because Execute only works on enemy minions.
We're going to do all this work, and then he's just not going to draw it.
Ah, we're keeping it interesting. That's our job.
Push the button. Somebody.
Yes. I think Execute is one of his best ones because, as Artosis once taught me, you cannot execute your own minion.
I'm out of cards.
He has mana for everything next turn. Inner Rage. She's tossing in everything here just to throw out extra cards.
And then he.
Oh, it makes sense because he can't. No, he can. I was like, you can't Inner Rage and then Mecha'thun and Shield Slam. He actually needs to spend his Shield Slam.
Light the fuses.
Right? No, you can Whirlwind after you Shield Slams. That makes sense.
He has to Shield Slam his Attorney.
He'll be fine. No matter what. Firebat has one last chance. One last chance for the Grifta!
Wait, no. How does Fr0zen kill his Eternium Rover?
Oh, yeah, wait, hold on.
He has to Shield Slam his Dynamatic. Unless Firebat kills him for him, which not a great decision.
Do it. You're right. Firebat doesn't have to do anything.
So, well, Firebat has to keep a hand space open, which he does. And that's all he has to do. And not press the kaboom, because then he gives Fr0zen a zap out. What?
He's making space for a Mega Symbol.
But why? He doesn't need to.
I agree. Now he wants to play something else.
And then he's giving Fr0zen the ability to clear off his own Dynamatic, which otherwise he wouldn't be able to unless he got 2 zaps in a row.
You're good.
Firebat thinks that he loses,
But he can't.
but he doesn't lose.
Not yet. Another Grifta, perhaps? Another Grifta chance? Grifta now? Oh, the zap! No!
Wait, he didn't pick Grifta.
Oh, he picked Dr. Boom's scheme? I thought he picked Grifta.
Wasn't Dr. Boom's scheme in the same thing as Grifta?
No, I think he picked Grifta. I'm pretty sure he did. I thought I saw it in the selection.
So if Firebat just hadn't played anything last turn...
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
What the heck?
He just gave Zap. Okay, now is there a way for him to restore health? Nope. Nope. I think Firebat realized what happened.
Come on. That's a bummer,
look,
man.
Look, I know. Look, it could still be the thing. He has to play Grifta and then eventually hope that his opponent can't kill his own minion, but... Yeah, Firebat not happy
Yeah,
with,
he just loses right now.
with his last play there.
He zaps the Turning Rover, Shield Slam, Mechathune Whirlwind. Game is over.
I'll destroy you last.
TJ, I am thoroughly unsatisfied.
So am I.
I am very upset. And Firebat kind of recognized, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I threw.
Yep.
And yes, you did. That's quite the arm there, Mr. Kostic.
Yep.
That being said, it still could have gone the other way because maybe Fr0zen just kills it anyways, and then he doesn't get a playable card. But
you
had a chance.
He had a chance, and there's a chance that Fr0zen